Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, and this time doing another Christmas review, and this one is on The Happy Elf. Now, The Happy Elf is an interesting Christmas special, as it's about a happy hyperactive elf called Yubi, who enjoys working at Santa's toy shop, but all the elves are annoyed and irritated by his over-happy attitude. So he's pretty much stationed on to doing the naughty and nice list, where he finds out that a town called Bluesville is on, all the kids are on the naughty list. Now, when you actually hear the name Bluesville, it sounds like some sort of 1950s jazz club or something. So of course, Yubi's two other elves, Gilda, who is a panical stress nut, and Derek, who's an overweight elf, and presumably on the verge of diabetes, also want to help as well. Now, also the film as well, it also has Yubi trying to help the people at Bluesville and dealing with their somewhat problems. At the same time, Yubi's boss, Norbert, who is strictly tight, can easily get angry with him, doesn't want Yubi to get involved with anything. Now, also the film, it does have a positive note that Bluesville will turn out alright, and Yubi managed to do the right thing. Now, what's also interesting is, this is one of those few roles I think Paul Reubens did which he might regret later, because he did voice Coconut Fred, and also voiced Bugsy in the TV pilot for that terrible game. It's one of those many roles he might presumably regret. What's also interesting that Mae Whitman also voices one of the residents in Bluesville. Now, pretty much the film, it does feel a bit rushed at points, but the animation does look spectacular, and there are no really bad alterations done to it. What's also interesting is that we also have Mickey Rooney for Santa Claus. My biggest concern with the film, it does feel like nothing is really built up as much, and it just has Yubi being too hyperactive, and it feels like I'm listening to Coconut Fred mixed with SpongeBob. So, what's also interesting as well is we also have the actor who played Dean from The Iron Giant doing the music and voice for the narrator who's telling the story about Bluesville. Now, what's also interesting is that a lot of familiar voice casts like Mae Whitman, Paul Rubin, also like Kevin Michael Richardson do show up in this. Even some of the cast members would show up to return for TMNT as well. So, what else do I think? Is that Yubi's character does feel a bit too hyper at points, and really they don't take time for him to cool down. Only when something happens to him is that they do manage to cool down his character a bit. I mean, the other characters are all fine, but Yubi is just too hyper, too happy-go-lucky. It's like, and also when listening to Norbert and Yubi, it's kind of like listening to SpongeBob SquarePants and Squidward a bit. So what do I think? The film, not as bad, but deserves a thumbs in the middle. Not bad, not great, still alright. So, Comic Review here, signing out.